Hey, what's going on YouTube? I got a different kind of video for you guys today. Normally this is a gun channel, but I just want to say if you are into metal detecting and you own a White's DFX, an MXT, or maybe you've had like the classic IDX or an XLT, I have a lot of experience on all these machines, and I just want to talk to you today about that and just kind of my experience with the machines. I'm going to try to make this quick and give you as much information as I can. And if you care about finding gold rings or jewelry hunting, that's what I do. So I'm just going to kind of impart as much as I can to you about these machines and which one to get and the truth about White's machines. They are excellent machines and they still get the depth as the new stuff. So don't be fooled and thinking you got to go buy some new whatever. There's ways to use these machines. I'm going to talk about it. Okay. So my history in metal detecting, my first machine 7 years ago, I got the classic IDX by Whites. Now that machine would only hit a quarter at 5 or 6 inches, and you know, maybe seven, but you would just get like a little black box on a screen, dime, penny, or penny, dime, quarter, dollar, and then below the penny was like pull tab, foil, or iron or something. So you'd have a basic ID, and that was it. Pinpointing was lackluster. It was okay. But, that machine is actually good enough to find lots of gold. The frequency, I don't prefer the frequency on that machine. I believe it was 6.59, which is the same as the XLT. Now the XLT has much more programming, block edit, disk edit, preamp gain, AC/DC, sensitivities. You had all that extra stuff, sweep speed, you name it. I mean, it had modulation, lots of other good features. They're like a computer. Not this one, the DFX. I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. This is actually a DFX 300. And I recommend I have this little Polish camouflage cover for it, but if I pull this off, you'll see it's a DFX 300. And I would recommend if you're gonna buy a DFX dual frequency spectrum, you have a 3 kilohertz and a 15 kilohertz, unlike the XLT, which only has the 6.59, which is more for coins. This is good for gold too. Not saying that you won't find gold with the XLT. I found many gold rings with mine before I got the DFX, which was the flagship unit for many years until the V3i came out, and I think that's kind of replaced it now. But I don't really think you're benefiting too much from a V3i if you have the DFX. They're still a great machine. Lots of customization, lots of discrimination of metals, lots of programming. Yeah, these little covers are like 26 bucks and they're totally worth it too. They keep the dirt and stuff like that out of your audio holes or whatever like that, speaker holes there. But so pretty much, you turn these things on. Spectrum DFX, there's battery tests, and you have your custom programs. Uh, you have your preset programs, coins and jewelry, jewelry beach, relic prospecting. Then I have my personal programs, new coin and jewelry plus silver. Then I have my gold program, then my coin and jewelry program, then my big coil pro, which is for my big coil, an accelerator 14-inch, which is good for the DFX and the MXT. And I'm going to talk about both machines and just kind of how that coil works. So I have lots of coils to show you guys. But pretty much when I use a DFX or an XLT Spectrum, which I used for at least 2 years before I got this, I would I would I would I would only keep signals, so I'd block and disk edit anything from -0 to -95. I'd get rid of all that because a lot of gold chains come in at like -2, -4. They're hard to find. DFX is better with that 15 kilohertz, and the MXT has a 14 kilohertz machine, but it uses the same coils as the DFX. So I think it might. I used Google to look that up before this. Uh, it's pretty much the same. It's better for gold. It's a better signal for gold targets. But this kind of okay. You can make this where it dual frequency spectrum. You're shooting a 3 kilohertz and a 15, and it's kind of optimized for coins and for gold. You can make it where it shoots down both signals and takes the best data, or you can do correlate where it looks for the best data on both signals and only a target that has good data from both signals. Or you could do single mode where you're hunting in the 3 kilohertz, better for coins, or the 15 kilohertz, better for gold. That's what I do when I'm really trying to find gold. But typically I just go with best data and I slowly go over a soccer field. So it's going to take the best data from whichever of those two signals it gets it from, and that's what it's going to display. Now, one thing I'll say, DFX is very programmable. It's a good machine. I've at least paid for this 4 times over from when I bought it on eBay a few years back for like $500. But I prefer, when I first bought this, it had that huge 300 coil. I didn't like that thing. It was heavy and pinpointing was harder. I went and bought a 950. This is a great coil and it pinpoints good, and this hits quarters at 9.5 inches with the DFX. And I have to say the MXT hits them at 10. It will hit them at 10. It's a little bit deeper, just half an inch deeper. But this is a simpler machine. Coin and jewelry, relic, prospecting, salt, and automatic ground balance. You have your gain, you have your discrimination, and then you have your threshold, and that's it. And then you get your VDI readout up here. If you're in prospecting mode, it'll give you the percentage that it could be gold or iron. So this is a good machine for nuggets too. It's just quick. It's on the fly. You pull it out of your truck, you go. And it's pretty much optimized. It's a very good machine for you know, park hunting, prospecting, searching for nuggets, uh, searching for nuggets in trashy places where you could use discrimination. This thing will find both of these machines, both the DFX and the MXT. I'd say the MXT is tiny bit deeper on a quarter. That's typically what I test, quarter and nickel. It's tiny bit deeper, and both of these machines pick out tiny pieces of metal, tenth the size of a dime. I think the MXT might hit slightly smaller targets, just because it's set up a lot for prospecting too, and I'm sure the DFX will if you get the right program. I'm sure it will, but this is just kind of a little easier to grab and go, and it uses the same coils. Yeah, they work on them on this machine as well. Now, this is good for the bleachers, the small 5.3 under the bleachers, high trash areas. But with this, both machines, the deepest I can hit 7 inches, maybe 7.5, no deeper, and that's a quarter. So that's just good for, high trash areas, under the bleachers, that type of deal. Tot lots, areas like that. Now the 950 loops, here's the new style, here's the flatter old style. I don't know if you can see that. You can. I prefer the older one. It's just a little bit lighter. They both get the same depth. I'm getting 9.5 inches on a quarter with both machines. Now the big difference here that I have to make mention, the DFX has the audio tones. You get like 190 of them or something, and this here is only one mono. It's like one tone, right? Unless you go into prospecting mode. I mean, no, coin and jewelry. Then I think you get like 3 or something. But I just use the coin and jewelry, so it's just one tone. But you hear the head and the tail of the object, so it's good for park seeking. If you're just looking for gold, you're going to dig every target anyways. So, well, most likely, the targets that sound like they're not, like there's something solid with a single, VDI number. But this one here, you get all those audio tones. So if you're out swinging and you hit a quarter, you get that 84 and it's a high tone. Then you hit some foil, it's a low tone, 07 or something. You can do it all with this machine. You could hunt a field and do it all. You could pull coins and gold. You could just dig it all, just go over it slowly. I found a lot of good stuff with this machine doing it that way. Lots of gold. Like I said, I probably paid for this machine 3 or 4 times over just in gold rings, and it's found a $600 chain. It came up as a +4. That was it. I remember pulling that shovel back out of the plug and seeing that bright, clean gold chain. I knew it was real the moment I saw it. See, I find a lot of fake rings, you guys, and it's sad. I have a few examples here. Just in the past couple weeks, I've dug 7 rings. One of them was too crappy to show, but here's 6 right here. The best one is this. It's called Palladium. It's a Cougars high school ring from 1980, but it's just stainless steel or something. Palladium. They make it sound so good, but no, it's just some cheaper metal, but that was somebody's ring. They're probably in their 60s by now. These others are just brass or copper. And it bummed me out because I normally always find the real stuff, but here lately, when I'm getting back into this hobby, I've been finding fake junk. So better videos to come. But White's machines, they have real good shafts. You can get extensions. I'm tall, so I'll use an extension sometimes just to cover a little bit more ground per swipe. You know, a good pair of headphones. The MXT is loud, you guys, and there's no way to adjust the volume. So this is kind of important if you're using an MXT. Now the White's machine, you can turn the volume down, I believe. Yeah, you can. I remember. It's in basic adjustments. So DFX, that's what I mean by White's machines. They're both White's machines. Now, yeah, the Simplex, I bought this because of the hype, right? It's an amphibious machine, fully submersible, and it's supposed to get excellent depth. I have found that MXT actually beats this. The 950 loop actually beats this 10-inch double D loop when the MXT is on this, and I'm running it hot and chattery, full sensitivity, and it comes in kind of dim because modulation. The MXT naturally has that program in it, so if it's a deep target, it's a softer tone, but you still see that VDI. See, I don't like if I'm swinging an object doing an air test, I'm not gonna like this here. It only would VDI. It would only register a quarter at 9.5 inches. It would still hit it out to about, I think it was 10.5 or 11, but it would only give me a VDI number at 9.5. So that's where it has to be. Because the MXT is the same way. You're gonna hit if you're in a cornfield and you're just gonna dig it all. You're gonna hit that target probably at 12 or maybe even 13, but you're only going to get the VDI at 9.5. So this is an excellent machine for the money, you guys. By all means, this is the one to get if you only want to spend $254. That's what they cost. Great machine, internal battery too. I have nothing bad to say. I can give you a quick demonstration here. I'm not going to put too much effort into it, but if I turn it on, it's backlit. It's going to go right into a program. I don't know if you can see the VDI. That's that ring right there. 19 or 20. Now if I get a quarter, now it's 90. Now you hear the audio tones. Now I'm going to go to park. It's all chattery. See, there's a different audio tone in park mode. Now if I get one of that little ring, that's a 54. Let me get a lower tone. See, different tone. 19. That's that Palladium one. You know, so I have the sensitivity maxed out, you guys. That's what's going on. Turn this guy off. Yeah, but I mean, you get beach, you get park 1, park 2 filled, and then you get an all metal mode. So I mean, this is a great machine. I have nothing but good things to say about it. I do think the MXT is a much better machine though. I really do. It gets a little deeper, just a little bit, especially if I'm pulling out the big coil. This coil really is better. Think of a baby food jar or like a pickle jar full of coins. You could hit that sucker at over 2 feet with this. Now, if we're just talking about quarters though, or jewelry, these coils here are excellent. The 950 loops. So, and you guys, you got to dig it all. I mean, it could be a pull tab. It could be a gold ring. Just look for a solid tone. If it's a solid 25, a solid 26, you know, if it's a modern pull tab, that's like a 20 or 22 right there by a nickel. You don't know. You just got to dig it, you guys. That's how you find the good stuff. You just got to go out there with your pouch. You got to dig all the trash. You got to dig all the coins. Coins are just, you're going to come across them, so you might as well dig them. At least you go home with something, because you don't find a gold ring every day. You just don't. But it's a great machine. If I could only keep one of these, you guys, I would go with the DFX. Have more experience on it. I like the customization of it. But if I was the kind of guy that only went metal detecting, say, 10 times a year, or if I'm trying to go extra deep in a cornfield or something, MXT, definitely. Not that the whites DFX won't give you the depth. It's just you're messing with programming there, and you're trying to ground balance, and the MXT just has an automatic ground balance. It works great. It even tracks, and and so does this one. It automatically ground balances too, but it's a lot heavier learning curve. I fear that a lot of people that have owned DFXs have not really messed with them enough to fully understand what they're capable of. So, but this is the machine I would keep just because. Now there's a big disadvantage to this, and this is just when you pass a target. Uh, I remember on the XLT, a fast sweep would get a deeper coin to VDI better. This one, not so much. It doesn't matter if you pass it fast or slow. It's more processing. It's like there's that 1/10 of a second hang time in the processing. While the MXT, it's almost like an older analog unit or something. It's just you just get it instantly, and I like that about it. And you still get the depth. It's just you get that one tone. So that's okay though. You hear the head and the tail of it. The same audio tone would be the same for a quarter as it would a foil ball. But you see the VDI number, so you check every target. It does make you go over every target. While you're spoiled on the DFX, you're just out there, you're listening to all the different tones if you turn on that feature, so you just kind of know what it is before you dig it. But definitely I'm a fan of the 950 loops. These are awesome. Favorite coil. And I've had the big DFX 300 one, like I said, too big, too heavy, bad pinpointing, not as good as depth as the accelerators. Uh, and I can say that these smaller ones, it just takes forever. Like say you're doing 1,000 square feet, that could take 2 hours of one of these. It's just crazy. I mean, you're really like at a tot lot or something trying to reach under the little jungle gems and stuff. You know, I don't know. Those are good coils, but they're real restrictive in my opinion. It's more like under the bleachers or high trash area. I think that this is the best loop, even better than the double D. I actually had that. It's like the All Pro, the 10-inch one, the real popular one. That's I think comes standard on the Spectra V3i as well. I had that coil before for the DFX. Uh, I want to say it was 10 and a half. It's 10 and a half White's DD coil, and that those are they cost a lot. They're like I don't remember exactly, but they're not cheap. They're not as cheap as these. These are better in my opinion. They pinpoint better. You might lose an inch of depth, but hey, you're still getting 9.5. If I need to go deeper, I'm going for this. I use this on the beach mainly just because I'm trying to cover more area. Or this would be my cornfield coil or something where I'm just going to dig every signal. But this is much harder to pinpoint on. So if I'm out at a park looking for gold, yeah, it's going to be the 950 or the 5.3. And like I said, you just got to dig it all. You look at that VDI number, after a few hours, you're going to know. You're going to start developing experience and you're going to know what those numbers are. But don't, the purpose of this video that I really want to make clear, yes, this is an awesome machine, the Simplex. And I got the one that came with the headphones and it came with a free pinpointer too for $340. But if you just get the machine with the headphone jack, it's $254. This is awesome. This is a good machine. It's fully amphibious. Now you can submerge it, get a snorkel, get a pinpointer, whatever, a little scoop basket, start working the bottom, take it into the water. That's really why I bought this. But even for park hunting, this is a great machine. But if you're doing dry land or even beaches, I still think you're going to be much better off with the DFX or the MXT. So they get the depth. They do. These machines, whoever said these didn't get depth, they're wrong. They get depth. You know, a lot of it's the coil you use as well. So stock coil is great on these. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Uh, what else can I say? I tumble all my coins. I have just tons of quarters in my drawer here with some of these rings and stuff, but I use a rock tumbler to tumble my change. And they come out with kind of a patina, but you can spin them because typically these things come out green or orange. these clad coins. So yeah, I tumble them, aquarium gravel, rock tumbler 2 hours. Now I can respin them or whatever, because I probably dig, I'd say $30 of coins every month, just hitting parks 2 or 3 times a week in my free time. So I know you guys, it's typically a gun review, but this is another hobby I have, and I just wanted to share that with y'all. And maybe you've been on the fence on what detector to get. This is what I would get if I were you. I'd get a used MXT. So hopefully I help somebody out there. You're going to find very small targets with this, uh, very simple programming, and just remember, dig it all. Listen for good signals that don't break up. Solid tones. You know, if you get a solid 45, that's a great signal. If you get a solid 47, that could be a gold band. Uh, most of the rings out there, actually women's rings, a 6 to a 17, somewhere in that range. Something solid. You know, your nickels, 18 to 20. Modern pull tabs, 22. Old pull tabs could be like a 28 to a 34, 37. I've even had some of those come up a little higher than that. But beaver tails, that's like a 16. You just, even though you know it's probably trash, you dig it. And a lot of times I've pulled out good gold rings doing that. So just remember that. Always hunt under the swing sets, stuff like that. That's really that's what I can pass on, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and just tell me, do you have a DFX? Do you have an MXT? Maybe you have the new Nakota Makro Simplex. What's your experience with the machine? What would you add to what I've already listed? You know, this is stuff I can read. This is stuff other people can read that watch this video. But yeah, just wanted to tell you about my experience. I really like the wireless headphones that come with that Simplex. I don't know how many years they'll last, but it's nice not having a cable catching on anything. I'm always careful to guard the jack, you know, coming out of the back of these. The whites, they use a plug like that, but just to kind of protect it. But it's no big deal wearing a wired headphone. It's not a big deal, but I'm a fan of White's machines. I really am. I don't think your depth is that much better with this. It's just all the other features, the amphibious part of it, and just what you're getting at that price point. This is a good buy, you guys. That part of the hype is real. But if you're just doing parks for jewelry, gold, and if you want a good all-around machine that gets great depth with lots of coils, this is what you get. Get this one or the All Pro. The All Pro has the backlight, the ground grab, and some kind of audio tones. Maybe you get a little more there. I don't know, but MXT or the MXT All Pro, they're both gonna give you the same depth. Really, they're good machines. So, I mean, we're talking 10-inch quarters for sure. It's gonna cut, and it'll VDI at that range too. You're not just gonna get a signal. I count the depth where the VDI comes up clear. So, all right. Well, you guys have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe, leave your experience, and I really appreciate it.